Mandela Day will not be a holiday, but a day devoted to service.
Nelson Mandela means a whole lot to people.
Selflessness. It's about time we rise up.
Nelson Mandela Day, I'm working with an NGO from my community.
So on Nelson Mandela Day, I'll be at the soup kitchen where I work.
Go help in a homeless shelter. That'd be nice.
It is our hope that people will dedicate their time and effort to improve the conditions within their own community.
Madiba started the change. Now it's time to play your part. Take action. Inspire change. Make every day a Mandela Day.
It's really taking a group of people that share an interest, organizing ourselves. We all share a passion for helping other people, underprivileged people. We embrace Mandela Day for that, or to have the opportunity to do that. We are all bikers. Some not so good as the others. I'm not a good biker, but we can all ride a bike, and it's just a mode of transport. So what we want to do is we want to demonstrate to people what can be done for Mandela Day. If you belong to a book club, a canoe club, a bicycle club, organize yourselves in that club, in that community, and do something good for others. There's great need across the country for people just to do good, and Mandela Day is the perfect opportunity.
The essence of Mandela Day is to actually do 67 minutes of public service. So the broader message is to always do good in every aspect all the time, and not only exclusively on the 18th of July.
That's right. That's why we also instituted the Mandela Mondays, where we want people to really do good every Monday at least prior to Mandela Day, but then make every day a Mandela Day. Just take 67 minutes every day and do good to others. And it also it doesn't only change other people's lives, it changes your attitude about life, to constantly be aware of the needs around you. So it's a really great way to inspire people just to help others, to serve.
Back to the bike ride. It kicks off here in Johannesburg, and what's the agenda?
We leave on Monday, the 11th of July, and then we go to KwaZulu-Natal, and along the way we stop at community projects there, the first one being in Harry Smith, where we will paint a playground at an orphanage. We'll paint a wall, we'll paint the jungle gym, and we'll make a difference in those children's lives. And then from there we'll go up to Ishowe, right in the middle of KwaZulu-Natal, I'll say, and then through to Jozini, which is at the border, right in the north at the border, through Swaziland to Mbombela, Graskop, Mashadadorp, and then back in Pretoria on the 18th of July. Our last project, our flagship project is really in Belfast, where we'll work at an orphanage as well on the 18th.
Of course, the main reason why all of this is happening is because of Nelson Mandela himself. You worked very close with him in the past 17 years, and I remember reading that when you actually applied for a job, you were in Pretoria looking for a job as a typist, and when you applied for a job, you had no intention of being his assistant. It was some other department.
Yes, it actually was in Jay Naidu's office. He was the minister without portfolio at that stage, and I just applied because the Union Buildings was closer to my parents' house.
So how is it that you crossed paths with Nelson Mandela?
I ended up in his personal staff then, and worked for his private secretary, Mary Mkladana, at the time. I actually don't know what happened after that. He just evolved. And I'm still around today.
Well, I remember reading as well, when you saw him and you greeted him for the first time, he was very friendly, you were scared. 17 years later, have your impressions of him changed?
Oh, completely. I think half of my defenses disappeared that first day when he extended his hand and he put his other hand on my shoulder and he spoke to me in Afrikaans, actually. I mean, there's just no way you can keep up defenses against something like that. So I just opened up my heart, my life, everything for whatever was coming.
Did that surprise you? Because it was a very sensitive transition that we were going through, particularly among race groups, language groups, etc.
Absolutely. I mean, I had no political background, no political savvy at that stage. I expected him to be a bit of a tyrant and a dictator. I mean, we were scared of him as white Afrikaner people. So it was the last thing that I expected, that he would be so friendly and that he would speak to me in my home language.
What is your first impression of him?
The first thing that goes through your mind is he's actually a bit tall. He's tall. You don't expect him to be that tall, yeah. But then you see the friendly face, and I could see at that stage that he was no longer a young man, and I felt kind of guilty, for everything he had gone through in his life.
You've worked with him for 17 years. You have a very close and endearing relationship with him, but is there one favorite Mandela moment for you?
There's so many. It's very, very difficult. I try and think of those, but there's not been one day that I've woken up and thought, oh my word, what am I doing? I don't want to work here. There's something out of every day that if I really had to try and remember, I mean, there would be something in every day that I could remember. But it's really the quiet moments. It's not the big public things, It's really personal teasing. He teases the girls in our office quite often about boyfriends and their children and so on. So it's those small things that will always remain with me.
And how has he affected and impacted and shaped your life?
Oh, in ways that's just undescribable. Actually, I look at my life. I try and remove myself from my life, and I can't believe that one human can evolve in the way that I've evolved, thinking about things, debating about things. I mean, I come from a very, very middle-class Afrikaner family. Life is it's completely different to what I had imagined, I'm overwhelmed by the privilege and how it has affected me personally and my life.
Did you have any boyfriends that you introduced to Madiba?
Yes, I have. I have.
Were they a bit intimidated?
Yeah, completely. No, it's difficult.
Was he like the big brother who interrogated them?
He interrogates his grandchildren's boyfriends and girlfriends and everyone around him. He's actually quite humoristic in that way, yeah.
Zelda, as we come to the end of the interview and we celebrate not only his birthday and the issue of 67 Minutes, what would be your message to South Africans about why they should get engaged in 67 Minutes and really do this, not only for, what Nelson Mandela has given to us as a nation, but what we should be doing for our own country?
You know what, it's interesting that you're asking that. Over this time, I also reflect quite a bit and think, what does Madiba really mean to people, and why does he have this effect on people? And it's really, then I come to the realization that it's not about this famous icon that lives in South Africa. It's not about this great world leader that we've seen in South Africa. It's really none of that. He's not just a person to have a photograph with. He is really a person of outstanding values and morals, of great example. And if we really want to pay tribute to him, we need to follow that example. That's what he essentially wants us to do. So how do we do that? We do good. We try and change other people's lives and try and be unselfish in our service to others. That is what Nelson Mandela teaches us. That is his legacy to me, personally. And I think as long as we try and do that, we pay tribute to him and his legacy forever.